Let me ask you something. Have you ever finished dinner, felt sleepy, gone to bed, and still found yourself tossing and turning for hours? Or worse, maybe you fell asleep quickly but woke up in the middle of the night, mind racing, heart slightly pounding, and sleep completely out of reach again. Most people chalk it up to stress, screens, or just one of those nights. But what if I told you that the real culprit could be hiding in plain sight, right there on your dinner plate? It might sound surprising, but what you eat at night has a profound impact on how your body transitions into rest mode. Our evening meals should be like a gentle invitation to sleep, not a wake-up call. And yet many of us unknowingly make choices that sabotage the very rest we crave. Tonight's dinner could either prepare your body for deep, restorative sleep or ignite a chain reaction that disrupts your entire night. Let's talk about some familiar foods: pizza, burgers, fried chicken, heavy pastas. These staples of the American dinner table are beloved for a reason. They're satisfying, comforting, and convenient. But here's the twist. Meals high in fat and processed ingredients trigger a stress response in the body. Instead of winding down, your digestive system is forced into overtime, diverting energy from rest to digestion. That sluggish, heavy feeling after eating? It's not relaxation. It's a warning sign. What's worse, these foods are often loaded with sodium and artificial additives that increase blood pressure and stimulate the nervous system, subtly keeping your body on alert long after you've turned out the lights. The result? Your body is tired, but your internal systems are still running a marathon. And when sleep finally comes, it's often fragmented, light, and far from the deep cycle your body needs to heal. Now, here's a detail that catches almost everyone off guard. One of the most common dinner additives in the US is monosodium glutamate, or MSG. Often found in sauces, seasoning packets, and prepackaged meals, MSG is known to enhance flavor, but it can also overstimulate certain receptors in the brain. While its effects vary from person to person, many report symptoms like restlessness, vivid dreams, and interrupted sleep after consuming meals high in MSG at night. The issue isn't just what you eat, but also what's hidden in what you eat. Even meals that seem light or healthy at first glance, like a frozen, low-fat entree or a microwavable veggie bowl, may be secretly packed with these sleep-disrupting additives. That's why it's not just about portion size or calories, but about the quality and composition of what you're putting into your body. And here's something even more critical. Certain nighttime eating habits may not just ruin your sleep temporarily. They may set off a cascade of hormonal imbalances that affect everything from your metabolism to your immune system. Interrupted sleep has been linked to increased cortisol levels, insulin resistance, and even a higher risk of chronic conditions over time. Again, this isn't to scare you, but to empower you. The good news is, once you identify the hidden factors disrupting your sleep, you can make simple, effective changes that immediately begin to restore your body's natural rhythms. One of the most impactful things you can do starting tonight is this. Avoid heavy, greasy, and overly processed foods at dinner. Opt instead for whole, minimally seasoned, naturally sourced ingredients. Your body knows how to process those. And keep in mind, it's not just about what you avoid, but how and when you eat. Eating too close to bedtime, even if it's a healthy meal, forces your body to prioritize digestion over rest. Try finishing your dinner at least 2 to 3 hours before you plan to sleep, and let that final meal be your ally, not your enemy. Before we move on, here's something I want you to remember. Small changes in your evening habits can yield powerful results. You don't need to overhaul your entire lifestyle to experience better sleep. You just need to start by paying attention to what's already on your plate. And by the way, don't miss the final insight I'll be sharing later on. It's a natural remedy, simple and safe, that can dramatically boost your body's ability to fall and stay asleep. But for now, stay with me, because the next thing we're about to explore is one of the most deceptive and most commonly consumed substances at dinner time. Ignoring it not only reduces the effectiveness of everything you've learned so far, but could quietly be making things worse. Imagine finishing a long day, settling down for a comforting dinner, and unknowingly adding the one ingredient that could completely disrupt your night: sugar. Yes, even when it's hidden. That sweet touch in your sauce, that refreshing soft drink, or even that so-called healthy granola bar, these can all quietly sabotage your ability to fall asleep and stay asleep. And the worst part? Most people don't even realize it's happening. We often think of sugar as a daytime problem, linked to energy crashes and diet concerns. But its impact on sleep, especially when consumed at night, is profound. Let me explain why. When you eat sugar, your blood glucose levels spike, which triggers a release of insulin to bring them back down. But at night, this spike and crash dynamic can send your body into a hormonal whirlwind. Elevated blood sugar before bed is like sounding an internal alarm clock. It can delay the onset of sleep, fragment your rest, and wake you up in the middle of the night without you even knowing why. Now here's the shocker. Sugar isn't just found in desserts. In fact, many savory dinner items in American households are full of added sugars. Think barbecue sauces, ketchup, salad dressings, certain breads, and even healthy, frozen meals. These products often use sugar to enhance taste and shelf life, and by the time you're eating your so-called balanced dinner, you've unknowingly consumed the equivalent of several teaspoons of sugar. And it doesn't stop there. Hidden sugars also play tricks on your brain chemistry. They interfere with the balance of serotonin and melatonin, two key players in your sleep-wake cycle. High sugar intake late in the day can suppress the production of melatonin, the hormone that signals your body it's time to wind down. So even if you feel tired, your brain hasn't received the right message to start the deep rest process. There's also the issue of inflammation. Refined sugars are known to trigger systemic inflammation, and nighttime is when your body is supposed to be healing and regenerating. Instead of repair, your body ends up managing inflammation, which may manifest as restless legs, vivid dreams, or frequent waking. Over time, this chronic low-grade inflammation can compound, subtly deteriorating not only your sleep quality, but also your overall health. And get this, many people trying to make better choices at dinner still fall into the sugar trap. Low-fat or light options often increase sugar content to compensate for flavor loss. That popular low-fat yogurt? It might contain more sugar than a scoop of ice cream. That vinaigrette on your salad? Could be laced with high-fructose corn syrup. It's a frustrating cycle. We aim to eat well, only to be misled by marketing and labels. So what can you do? The answer isn't to obsessively count grams of sugar, but to become more mindful of where it hides. Choose whole, unprocessed foods whenever possible. Make your own sauces using fresh ingredients. Check ingredient lists for words like sucrose, glucose, dextrose, and maltodextrin, and be cautious with anything that claims to be light, low-fat, or sugar-free. These labels are often misleading. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is to reframe dinner as a chance to soothe the body, not stimulate it. Instead of reaching for sweetened drinks, try infusions made with calming herbs like chamomile or lemon balm. Just ensure they're truly free of added sugars or artificial flavorings. Opt for whole grains, lean proteins, and healthy fats in moderation. These stabilize blood sugar and support melatonin production naturally. The next time you think of dessert or a sweetened beverage in the evening, ask yourself, is this helping or hurting my rest? That small decision could determine whether you wake up refreshed or not at all. And there's something else. If your body is used to nightly sugar intake, suddenly stopping can lead to a few rough nights. Don't be discouraged. As your body recalibrates, your sleep will become deeper, your mood more stable, and your cravings more manageable. It's not just a dietary shift, it's a full biological reset. Here's what you need to remember. Sugar is subtle, powerful, and everywhere. But so is your ability to make better choices. Begin observing, experimenting, and adjusting. Small actions, done consistently, transform not just your sleep, but your health from the inside out. The next factor we'll uncover is so fundamental, it's often completely overlooked. And ignoring it could undo everything you've learned so far, possibly leading to effects you'd never imagine are tied to sleep. Let's get into it next. Now that we've uncovered the hidden impact of sugar on your sleep, it's time to dig into something even more subtle, and perhaps even more disruptive. It's not just what you eat at dinner, but how the foods interact inside your body. You might be eating real whole ingredients, watching your sugar intake, and still find yourself restless at night. That's because certain combinations of foods create an internal conflict, turning what should be a peaceful digestive process into a drawn-out struggle that affects your entire night. Let's take a closer look at one of the most common combinations on dinner plates: high-protein meats with refined carbohydrates. Think of a grilled steak with mashed potatoes, a cheeseburger on a white bun, or even baked chicken served over white rice. These are classic, comforting meals, but the comfort ends at the taste buds. Inside your body, these components demand vastly different digestive processes. Proteins require an acidic environment and more time to break down, while refined carbs begin digestion quickly and in a more alkaline setting. When consumed together, they can slow down overall digestion, leading to fermentation, gas, and an uncomfortable fullness that lingers into the night. And here's the part few people talk about. Slow digestion at night means your body is working while it should be resting. Instead of moving into restoration mode, repairing cells, regulating hormones, and balancing brain chemistry, your system is stuck processing food. That's one of the reasons why people often wake up feeling sluggish, even after a full night in bed. Your body was never really off duty. Another underestimated effect of these poor combinations is their impact on blood sugar stability. When you pair heavy protein with refined carbs, you're more likely to experience delayed blood sugar spikes. These late spikes can lead to a crash during the night, which prompts your adrenal glands to release stress hormones like cortisol. That's when you find yourself suddenly wide awake at 2 a.m., mind racing for no clear reason. It's not stress from your day, it's stress from your dinner. Even seemingly harmless combinations can create this issue. For example, pairing a high-fat dairy product like cheese with starchy pasta or processed bread can create a similar digestive slowdown. And the popular choice of dessert right after a large meal only piles on the burden, layering sugars on top of an already heavy metabolic load. Instead of calming the body, this layering keeps the digestive system active for hours longer than necessary. But here's the encouraging part. Your body is incredibly responsive to better choices. By making a few simple adjustments, you can not only reduce digestive strain, but also enhance your body's natural sleep signals. One of the most effective shifts is to separate heavy proteins from starchy or sugary carbs at dinner time. Choose either a protein-focused meal with leafy greens and light vegetables or a plant-based carbohydrate meal with moderate fat and fiber. Let your meal have a clear purpose, and your body will thank you with deeper, more consistent rest. And let's not forget about portion size. Large meals, even healthy ones, can stretch the stomach and cause discomfort that lingers into the night. Overeating is a common cause of heartburn and acid reflux, both of which disrupt sleep. So, listen to your body's hunger cues and try to stop eating when you're about 80% full. That feeling of slight lightness after dinner is a good sign that your body won't be overloaded during sleep. Another helpful approach is to slow down and be mindful during your meal. Chew thoroughly, avoid distractions like screens, and eat in a calm environment. This allows your body to begin the digestive process more efficiently, setting you up for a smoother transition into rest later on. These changes might seem small, but their impact is cumulative. By respecting how your body digests food, you create a rhythm that supports, not hinders, your ability to sleep deeply and wake up energized. Now, let me emphasize this. Your dinner is not just a meal. It's a message to your body about what comes next. If you choose combinations that clash, you're telling your system to stay active. But if you choose foods that complement each other, you're paving the way for peace and recovery. The next tip we'll uncover involves something many people believe helps them unwind, but it may be one of the most misleading habits of all. Ignoring it not only reduces the benefits of what you've learned so far, but it may subtly damage your ability to reach the deep sleep your body truly needs. By now, we've explored how your dinner choices, especially food combinations, can quietly sabotage your sleep. But there's another factor that often slips under the radar: what you drink with or after your evening meal. It might surprise you to learn that some of the most common nighttime beverages, often chosen for their relaxing or comforting effects, could actually be doing more harm than good when it comes to getting uninterrupted rest. Let's start with a favorite: wine. A glass of red with dinner or a small nightcap before bed is seen by many as a harmless way to unwind. After all, alcohol can make you feel sleepy, relaxed, even drowsy. But what most people don't realize is that alcohol, while initially sedating, interferes with the body's natural sleep architecture. It suppresses REM sleep, the stage most associated with dreaming and deep emotional processing, and leads to fragmented, shallow rest. You may fall asleep faster, but you're far more likely to wake up in the middle of the night, dehydrated, with your heart beating a little faster than it should be. Even more subtle is the rebound effect. As the body metabolizes alcohol during the night, it causes a spike in alertness, sometimes just enough to wake you up and make it difficult to fall back asleep. What started as a moment of comfort becomes a restless experience that leaves you groggy the next morning. And for those who use alcohol consistently to wind down, this can spiral into a cycle of dependency and increasingly poor quality sleep. Now let's talk about herbal teas. Many people turn to a warm cup of tea in the evening as a calming ritual. That's a beautiful practice, unless the tea contains ingredients that stimulate rather than soothe. Several popular blends, including green tea, yerba mate, and even some labeled detox teas, contain natural caffeine or other mild stimulants that can keep your nervous system subtly activated. The result? You may not feel wired, but your body is quietly resisting the transition into deep sleep. Even some chamomile or peppermint teas are processed with additives or artificial flavorings that reduce their natural effectiveness. That's why it's important to choose high-quality, organic herbal teas with proven calming ingredients, like lemon balm, passion flower, or valerian root, without hidden sugars or synthetic enhancers. And yes, even added sweeteners can shift your insulin response and lightly disrupt your hormonal signals at bedtime. Let's not overlook another habit that seems innocent: drinking large amounts of water or any liquid right before bed. Hydration is essential, no doubt, but timing matters. Consuming a full glass or bottle of water too close to bedtime can result in one of the most common yet least discussed causes of sleep disruption: nocturia, or waking up to urinate. These nighttime bathroom visits may seem minor, but they interrupt your sleep cycles and reduce the amount of time your body spends in the most restorative phases of sleep. There's also the issue of temperature. Iced drinks in the evening, especially water or soda, can mildly constrict your digestive system, signaling the body to stay alert and engaged instead of winding down. In contrast, sipping a warm, unsweetened beverage in the early evening can promote a gentle drop in body temperature later at night, which is one of the key signals that it's time for sleep. So, what's the best approach? Begin tapering your fluid intake about 1 to 2 hours before bed. If you'd like a calming drink, try a small cup of a naturally decaffeinated herbal infusion, served warm with no sweetener. Make it part of a calming routine. Dim the lights, turn off screens, and let your body ease into the night. These rituals may seem small, but they send powerful signals to your internal clock that it's time to rest. It's not about cutting out pleasure or rituals. It's about aligning them with what your body truly needs to regenerate. When you choose your beverages wisely, you're not just hydrating or relaxing. You're supporting deep cellular repair, emotional stability, and mental clarity. So tonight, take a moment to reconsider what's in your glass. That one choice could be the tipping point between a night of fragmented rest or a deep, healing sleep that allows you to wake up truly refreshed. But we're not done yet. The next topic will reveal something hiding in plain sight in your kitchen, something you probably use daily, and may be preparing in a way that unknowingly blocks your body's natural rest process. Not understanding it could quietly undo much of your progress so far and create a ripple effect that extends beyond sleep. Let's take a moment to reflect. You've already become more aware of what you eat, how you combine your meals, and what you drink in the evening. But now we're getting to something far less discussed, yet incredibly powerful: the way you prepare your food. The method you use to cook your dinner can be the difference between promoting healing or silently feeding low-grade inflammation that disrupts your rest. It sounds simple, but most people never consider that how their food is cooked can actually alter its impact on the body's sleep cycle. Certain methods of preparation can strip foods of their natural nutrients, generate inflammatory compounds, and create digestive burdens that linger well into the night. What seems like a nourishing meal on the surface may be setting off internal stress signals if cooked improperly. Let's start with one of the most common methods, frying. High-heat cooking, especially frying with refined oils like canola or soybean oil, leads to the formation of harmful byproducts such as advanced glycation end products, AGEs, and acrylamides. These compounds are associated with oxidative stress and systemic inflammation, two silent disruptors of restorative sleep. Your body, instead of transitioning into repair mode, is now managing the aftermath of dietary inflammation. But it's not just frying. Even seemingly healthy techniques like grilling can be problematic when used excessively or without proper precautions. Charring meats at high temperatures produces heterocyclic amines, HCAs, which are another class of compounds linked to cellular stress. The burden of detoxifying these substances pulls energy away from processes like hormonal balancing and deep tissue regeneration, both of which are most active during sleep. You may have heard the advice to eat more vegetables for better health, and it's absolutely true. But here's the twist. If those vegetables are overly boiled, microwaved in plastic containers, or sautéed in processed oils, their natural sleep-supportive nutrients, like magnesium, potassium, and antioxidants, may be significantly reduced. The result? A plate that looks healthy but lacks the power to nourish your body in the way you intended. Now, this doesn't mean cooking needs to become complicated or restrictive. In fact, the opposite is true. The goal is to simplify and return to gentle ancestral methods that respect the integrity of your ingredients. Steaming, light roasting with unrefined oils, baking at low temperatures, and raw preparations when appropriate all preserve nutrient content and minimize the formation of inflammatory byproducts. A few easy switches can make a big difference. Replace refined oils with extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil when cooking at moderate heat. When baking or roasting, keep the temperature below 375 degrees to reduce the risk of oxidation. For meats, consider slow cooking or braising, methods that allow for thorough cooking without excessive charring. And here's something most people overlook: seasoning. Many pre-made seasoning blends and marinades contain preservatives, sugar, and artificial flavorings that not only disrupt digestion, but also stimulate the nervous system. When you prepare food at home, use fresh herbs like rosemary, thyme, and basil, which not only enhance flavor, but have natural calming and anti-inflammatory properties. When you eat a meal that's been cooked gently and thoughtfully, your body responds in kind. You may notice you feel lighter after dinner, less bloated, and more mentally at ease. Over time, these small shifts in cooking methods translate into more efficient digestion, more balanced hormones, and ultimately, more peaceful sleep. There's also a psychological aspect here that shouldn't be underestimated. When you prepare your food with care, you send a message of self-respect and intention. That energy carries through the entire process, from how you chew to how you rest afterward. Cooking becomes more than a routine. It becomes a tool for self-restoration. So the next time you step into the kitchen, ask yourself not just what you're making, but how you're making it. The answer could be the key to unlocking deeper, uninterrupted rest and a sense of balance that radiates through your entire life. The next step is where it all comes together. It's the heart of this entire journey, and the missing piece for many people who do everything else right, but still struggle to sleep. Ignoring it not only diminishes all your previous efforts, but could unintentionally lead to long-term imbalances that affect more than just your nights. Now we've arrived at the final piece of the puzzle, the foundation that ties together every choice you make throughout the evening. You've been intentional about what you eat, how you combine your meals, what you drink, and even how you cook. But without this last element, the full potential of those changes might never be realized. It's time to talk about the actual composition and timing of your last meal, and the secret ingredient that can turn your dinner into a natural invitation for deep, uninterrupted sleep. Let's start with something many people overlook: the role of melatonin. This hormone is your body's internal signal that it's time to slow down. But melatonin production depends heavily on the nutrients you consume and when you consume them. Certain foods naturally support your body's ability to make melatonin, especially when they're digested properly and not interfered with by stimulants, additives, or heavy combinations. One of the most powerful sleep-promoting foods is the humble banana. Rich in magnesium, potassium, and tryptophan, bananas help relax muscles, regulate blood pressure, and trigger the biochemical pathway that leads to melatonin production. But here's the key. It's not just about eating a banana. It's about how you integrate it into your evening in a way that supports your body's rhythms. Now imagine this. About 60 to 90 minutes before bed, you prepare a simple warm drink using a blend of sleep-supportive ingredients. A small banana, lightly warmed and blended with unsweetened almond milk, a dash of cinnamon, and a teaspoon of ground flaxseed. The result? A naturally sweet, creamy beverage that's easy to digest, rich in fiber, and loaded with the nutrients your body needs to begin the sleep process. Cinnamon helps regulate blood sugar and has a calming effect on the nervous system. Flaxseed offers omega-3s and promotes hormone balance. Almond milk provides a smooth base that's light on the stomach and free of the lactose that can cause digestive issues for many. Together, these ingredients don't sedate you. They align with your biology to gently signal, it's time to rest. And that's the key to sustainable, natural sleep support. Not a sleeping pill, not an herbal supplement you're unsure about, but real, whole foods, used intentionally in a rhythm that respects your body's needs. Timing matters too. Your final meal or sleep-supportive drink should ideally be consumed no closer than 45 minutes to an hour before bed. This gives your digestive system enough time to begin processing without keeping your core temperature elevated, a subtle but critical factor in falling asleep quickly. The real transformation happens when your entire evening routine becomes an act of preparation, not just for sleep, but for healing. Your dinner nourishes without overwhelming. Your drinks hydrate without interrupting. Your cooking methods preserve the integrity of your food. And now, your final nourishment calms your body and mind, opening the door to deep, uninterrupted rest. If you've ever struggled to fall asleep despite doing everything right, this could be the missing link. Many people unintentionally delay or block melatonin production with late-night stress, screens, or poorly timed meals. But this natural, nutrient-rich preparation method gently supports every stage of the body's sleep-wake cycle. And remember, your sleep is not just about how you feel in the morning. It's the foundation for your emotional stability, immune function, hormonal health, and even longevity. When you take control of your nights, your days begin to change as well. So tonight, take a moment to prepare something with intention. Use real ingredients, cook gently, sip slowly, and rest knowing that you've given your body what it needs, not just to survive the night, but to truly restore. If this journey has opened your eyes, imagine what's still possible. Share this knowledge with someone who needs it. Like this content if it resonated with you. Subscribe if you're ready to transform not just how you sleep, but how you live. And never forget, the best version of your life begins with a single night of real rest. Let it begin tonight.